She first. First, leader, greatness, hope, and dreams. Women have defied the norm and pushed through the barricades to change culture, technology, and life as we know it. Come listen to our weekly podcast and be inspired by the incredible stories of women and how they managed to be the first in a world that encourages women to be second. What are you waiting for? Be first. She is strong, she is deliberate, she is brave. She first.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you so much for coming and taking the time to sit down with me. Another episode of She First, where we expand and explore on how brave, deliberate, and strong you are. If you don't mind just telling us a little bit about yourself, your name, how we met each other, and just a little bit about who Sheila is.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. It is such an honor. So, my name is Sheila, to everyone listening. So, first and foremost, I am an entrepreneur. I am a daughter and a sister and soon to be wife. Woo! I was born in Canada to Ghanaian parents. Uh, about education, and I studied English literature at York University.
Nice, nice. Well, speaking of soon to be wife, welcome to the club.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I was just there where you are. It is so surreal.
Woo!
It is so surreal to in that moment because somebody asked me, "How does it feel?" And it's like you can't really explain it, but it's like, wow, this person wants to spend the rest of their life with me. It's
Yeah,
it's it's such a blessing. So
yeah.
congratulations. I'm
Thank
happy for
you.
you. Enjoy the moment because once the planning starts,
I know.
I'm in that planning stage and it is crazy. So
Yeah.
congratulations. All right.
Thank you.
Um, yes, you're welcome. So, just a little bit about us. How did we
Mhm.
meet?
Yeah, so we actually met through my brother.
Okay.
I believe he attended the same school as you. So, yeah, we met through him and we've been going strong ever since.
Yes, I'm so glad that I met Fred because, like everybody knows, whoever's listening, I don't have any brothers. And once I met Fred, we literally just clicked, and he just took on that role of a brother, which like it's a blessing to always have that male perspective and that person that's going to like be there for you. So
Hmm.
if it wasn't for Fred, we probably would not have met. And who knows, maybe we'll have Fred
For
on here
sure.
in the future.
Great.
Awesome. So yeah, we met through Fred. You told us a little bit about yourself being an entrepreneur. We'll probably build on
Mhm,
that a little more,
mhm.
and we might talk about it, and give our listenership a little bit about your business. Who knows? There might be somebody that might want to support. Um, but before we do that, we'll go into the segment of She Did It. And
Okay.
with the She Did It segment, we just talk about your growth. As Sheila, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? How are you as successful as you are? How are you where you are in your life? And
Mhm.
this is just to help our listeners feel like, we didn't just wake up and everything happened. Like we worked
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
If you don't mind just building on that for us.
Yeah, so it's actually related to something that I said earlier. So I actually founded a tutoring company called MC Tutoring. So it is a Christian-based tutoring company. Basically, my role and my personal mission statement is to inspire and equip others to be the best versions of themselves and to be the best that they can in anything that they seek to accomplish. Um, how I got started on this journey. So I'll get into it a little bit more throughout our time here. But basically, I love education, as I mentioned before. The first memory I have growing up, I was 3, and yes, you can remember things when you're, that young. And I
Mhm.
remember my mom just pouring all of these books on me. They were soft cover, don't worry. And I
Mhm.
just remember feeling like, wow, all of this is for me, and this deep desire that, I I was able to um it's hard to explain, but basically I felt like this knowledge was out there for me to seek, and
Mhm.
it develops this passion in me to always learn and, you know,
Mhm.
to always try to improve my skills, whatever those skills may be. So
Okay.
I always loved reading from an early age. And I was very close with, all of my teachers, my professors. So naturally, when I graduated, the next step for me was to open a tutoring business, and that's basically how I got started on that journey. So it wasn't overnight, but it was just over the years being true to myself. Yeah.
Mhm. That's awesome, and that's so good to hear that there's individuals like us in our age group that still like to learn. We
Mhm.
have this running joke in our household. Hildegard, my middle sister, you know her. She just
Mhm.
graduated, and we were
Oh,
talking to
nice.
our parents, and she's like, "I'm done. I'm not going back to school. I'm not doing this again." Right? I understand where she's coming from and how that is where she wants to go in life now moving forward. It's just her career. But at the same time, I also see and I appreciate people that like you who want to keep learning and educating, which is we do need those educators right out there to help our community, our younger generation. So that's kudos. I give you props, especially starting your own business. It's not easy for anyone
No.
out there when it comes to starting your own business. And as a Black woman, there's a lot of more hoops that you would have to jump as well, I presume. All right. The next part of She Did It is um, you're on here because you're a first in some regard, either by choice or not by choice. If you don't mind elaborating a little bit on how you're first, any decisions you decided to make that made you first,
Mhm.
just so that we can have an understanding on that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the firstborn in my family. So it's just my brother and myself.
Mhm,
Firstborn and first girl as well.
mhm,
Um, I was the first to attend university.
mhm,
So that, I mean, there was only two of us, and my brother followed when he was of
mhm.
age.
Yeah, but
um,
someone might not have. There's some siblings who would have come first and not have attended, right?
that's true.
But you followed through with making sure you get that education.
Yeah. And then I was the first in my family to also open a franchise of a tutoring business, or any
Yes.
business for that matter. So,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely a lot of firsts there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Just to touch on being the first born, as a
Mhm.
firstborn daughter, did you feel any kind of pressure or any expectations that you might have set for yourself, being the first sibling?
Mhm.
As between the both of you, was there anything that maybe pushed you towards where you are now because of you having been born first?
Sure, sure. So I would definitely say that being born first shaped me to be a leader. I was always very protective, especially of my brother, when we were younger, of course.
Mhm,
Um, it's weird because I'm his older sister, and sometimes I also saw myself as, helping my mom in ways
mhm,
that, since I was born here,
mhm,
there are some things that I was able to assist on just because I went through it first. So by the
mhm,
time we got to my brother, I had already set, a trail
mhm,
to make it easier for him to do certain things, like,
mhm,
transfer into a school, or,
mhm.
anything like that.
Yeah.
But I always saw myself as being very responsible. everything from, babysitting at a younger
Mhm.
age,
Yeah, taking care of the last one.
taking care, exactly. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
definitely
good.
shaped who I am today in some ways.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. Uh, okay. So another question that I have for you, what is the best advice, or what could you say would be one of the best advices you've received, in your life that you could say somebody gave me this advice and it worked wonders for me?
Okay. Um, Oh, where do I start? There's so many. I love
Right?
learning, so I love, also take
Yeah.
learning advice from people, taking
Mm-hmm.
advice. So I would say something my mom always tells me is not to worry. Um, Growing up, I was quite the perfectionist. So if
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't done in a certain way, I would instantly start stressing over the smallest. But over the years, I've really learned to just let go and to trust that God.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing that we can't control what happens to us, but
Mm-hmm.
how we respond. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really helped me to overcome a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and not to feel a victim, in certain situations, but rather to rise above, especially if I
Mm-hmm.
felt, empowered to be the victim, because it really
Mm-hmm.
doesn't empower you at the end of the day, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good one. And the funny thing is, these are things we know, right? We know this. We know we should not worry. We know we should not stress, but naturally, the situation sometimes leans in a position where we're like, oh my goodness, and then you
Yeah.
start stressing. But that's good that um, Auntie Emma, I think she's so smart. And she's the healthiest person I have met in my entire life, was in a position to give you that wisdom and give you that advice. So that's awesome. The last question, and she did it, is if you could mention three people that would have been the most influential in your life or are the most influential
Mm.
in your life, who would you say? I know three is probably little because you probably have amazing group of individuals that surround you. But of those, if you could give me just three,
Okay.
and just so that we at least give kudos to those that have been there for you.
Hmm. Hmm. So I'll start. I'm not sure if this one will count, so you'll just let me know. First, I would say
Mhm.
God. I
Yeah.
strongly believe in,
Yeah.
seeking God in all things. And
Yeah.
over the years, that has really kept me going. So God is the first for me. But the
Mhm.
first person would definitely
Person.
be my mom.
Mhm.
She has been, such a role model, a teacher, a friend, everything I could ever ask for.
Mhm.
So definitely her.
Mhm.
I also have a mentor. She is she's actually she attends the church that I go to, and her
Mhm.
name is Marilyn. Marilyn has been really influential in so many ways. Um, and we've gone on, I guess, a life journey together.
Mhm.
Yeah, earlier on, I really wanted a mentor, just to help me navigate,
Mhm.
things through life. And she's definitely been someone I was able to count on, so
Mhm.
many times. Um, the next person, it might seem kind of cliche a little bit, but I have to mention my brother. Um, And for me, my brother is more than just a brother for me. He is also my friend. And
Mhm.
I tell him all the time, actually like you, I know I have to love you because we're related, but as a person, I actually
Mhm.
like you.
Mhm.
My life would be so, so different if I didn't have him in my life.
Mhm.
He's more outgoing. I'm outgoing too, but he definitely likes,
Oh
being
yeah,
more, you
he's
know,
out there and
he's out there. He's,
Mhm.
and I know a lot of the friendships that I've made over the years, like yourself, has been made
Mhm.
because of him and through him. And
Mhm.
when I really think about it, I know I really wouldn't have the friendships. I wouldn't My social circle would look so different if he wasn't there.
Mhm,
And, he's always been there to support me and things like that. So,
mhm.
yeah, shout out to my younger brother.
I can honestly agree, and I couldn't I couldn't agree any less that I've seen you guys interact with each other. Like, you're the dynamic siblings that, you see some siblings and they hate each other, and like they don't speak nicely of each other, but you guys, um for sure. And one of the first things I learned about him is that there is Sheila. So Sheila exists. So I can attest to that you guys do have a really good relationship. Um and I look up to you and say, like, that's good, because I have younger sisters as well. I don't have a younger brother, so I wouldn't really be able to tell the dynamic of a sister and a brother. But having Fred as a friend and watching you guys' relationship is it has helped me see things differently, which has been really helpful to my growth as well. So I couldn't agree any less on that. All right, so the next segment we have is She Tried It. Now, this one is going to be just two really unusual questions that I usually ask just to speak to your personality. They they're not really like complicated, but the way you answer speaks to
Mhm.
how you process information, and it's just fun. So the
Sure.
first one is, if you had to sell hot chocolate in the hottest country in the world, how would you do it?
Okay. So if I had to sell hot chocolate in the hottest country, how would
Mhm,
I do it? So first of
mhm,
all, hot chocolate is an excellent source of sugar, so we need it for energy. When it's very hot, you naturally feel very lazy and, you feel like your energy is drained. So this is
mhm.
going to empower you to get through your day, to do everything that you need to do. So, look at it, I won't say from a nutritional value, but or aspect, but the quick pick me up.
That is actually really, I didn't think about it that way, because I'm thinking only about the hotness and the hotness of outside. But when you put it like that, hot chocolate is sweet, and it does give energy because it's sweet. So I didn't think of it like that. The next question is, if you were a plant, what plant would you be and why?
Hmm. If I was a plant, what plants would I be and why? Um,
Could be a
this is a bit,
flower.
yeah. uh, uh, hmm. This is a bit more challenging. I would probably say some sort of indoor plant.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't have a particular name in mind.
That's fine.
But an indoor plant, definitely, because um, I would say I like having the protection, of being indoors. Outside, there's a
Mhm,
lot of harmful elements like the sun that's really harsh
mhm.
on skin. And I do believe in sunscreen. So
Um,
I'd be trying to
mhm,
shield my skin. I love skincare. So I'm trying to think as
mhm,
a plant. I'd be
mhm,
trying to protect myself from, being outside. But inside, you're also, you're protected from, animals, and usually you're put
mhm,
on display, right? So you're
mhm.
adding to the
Oh,
beauty of where you are, you know.
that's good.
um,
I would not have thought of it like that. So literally, once a plant is indoor, it's there because whoever has put it there wants to look at it. It looks
mhm,
good.
yeah, it has a
Okay. That is,
purpose.
yeah.
And see, I can keep
Uh-huh.
going with this one.
Oh, let's
And
go.
usually, plants, they help us, to improve our breathing. So,
Hmm.
and they also what is it, the process of photosynthesis. So
Oh, so they
there's
give
an
us
exchange,
oxygen.
exactly. And
Mm.
and I believe in give and take and learning and also giving. So it's a nice,
Hmm.
system.
A good answer. I like these questions because yes, we did try to answer the question, but it also spoke to who you are. You mentioned your skincare, how that is important, and you mentioned that you do believe in sunscreen, which is also very interesting as well, because not so many Black people
Mhm.
actually believe in it. To be honest, myself, I was not one of them, but my sister Karen is also
Yeah.
into skincare, and she's
Mhm.
like, "You guys, Black people get sun,
Yep.
not gonna get sunburn." So it's interesting that you did bring it up that way as well. And also the security part. I was reading somewhere and there was a mention of one of the main things women crave for in life, in a relationship, in work is security.
Mm.
And the fact that you did mention the safety indoors um, also definitely doubles down on your feminine self, and what you what you value as well, which is beautiful. So thank you for trying to tackle those unusual questions. This one is usually just a surprise one. It's nothing crazy. It just speaks to what you value. And so right now on your cell phone, what
Mhm.
is your wallpaper or your lock screen picture?
Oh boy. Okay. So my lock screen picture, I don't know if you can actually see it, but
No, you
it's
can just
a
describe it.
it's a picture of myself and my fiance
Of
looking
course,
at each
it
other.
better be. It better be. Speaking
um,
of, see, I
a
agree. It better
a
be. Has to be. But I see it. So why would you say you chose that picture?
You know what? I chose this picture because every time I see it, like I have a sense of calm
Mm-hmm.
that comes over me, and I think it's because he it's how he sees me. He sees me as myself. Like I'm not trying to be anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I I love to. He brings that out of me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel very safe. Like I really like the picture. It's not a glam picture or anything like that. Like I'm not wearing
Mm-hmm.
heels and stuff, but I think it
Mm-hmm.
really captured the emotion and the feelings that we have for each other.
And
It's
that's
as
beautiful.
authentic as as
And
it can
that's
be.
beautiful because, like, at the end of the day, with these cell phones, these are material things that we end up that come and go, but the things that we value usually are things we want to keep looking at.
Yeah.
And for somebody to just to go on one knee and be like, "So, are we doing this forever?" And then you're like, "Yes, we are." That is like this. That's a person that you should be proud to share with anyone who has a look at your phone or something that you constantly remind yourself about. So awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
Yes.
And I relate. All right. We're going to go into the next segment. The second last segment is She Got It. So it's just
Okay.
15 rapid fire questions. Don't overthink it. Whatever comes to your mind,
Okay.
shoot the answer. Okay. So texting or talking?
Talking.
Favorite day of the week?
Sunday.
Sunday. Favorite city besides the one you live in?
Mm. I know we're not supposed to overthink it. It's a tie between, I'd say, Toronto
Mm-hmm.
and Mississauga.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Name a word that starts with the letter Q.
Queen.
Queen. I was hoping to say Queen. Um, Last song you listened to.
It was an Afro. Um, it's actually a new song. Tiwa Savage and Brandy.
Mhm.
What's it
Oh,
called? Somebody's Son. It doesn't apply to me right now,
oh.
but
It has a nice beat. It has a nice beat to it.
yeah.
Favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Um, dawn or dusk?
Done.
Favorite type of, sorry, tea or coffee?
T.
And then the last one, pen or pencil?
Pen.
Awesome. The last one in there, pen or pencils, I have it in there because I didn't know this. I just read it somewhere. I was reading something online, and there was mention of individuals that choose pen are more bold and confident in themselves, and when they say something, they've said something because they're bold and they're confident what they're saying. Individuals that choose pencil are more reserved, perfectionists. They want to make sure it's perfect before it's
Mm.
put out there because you have the option to erase and correct. So they're both not bad. They just speak to
Yeah.
different individuals. And you chose a pen, meaning you are pretty bold. And I like that. All right. So the last part of this segment is, do you have any questions for me, or do you have any question that you'd like me to answer?
Sure. So, my question is, where would you like to see this podcast in 5 years?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I might be reaching, but in my trailer, when I just put it out, I created a video with a bunch of pictures of people that I would like to have on the podcast. And one of the people in there was Michelle Obama,
Oh, okay.
because she was the first Black White House
Yeah,
first lady.
yeah.
Um, and I also have in there Malia. She's the first Black first daughter, and she's the firstborn.
Mm,
So I know it's a reach, but in 5 years, I'm hoping if this does take off, I would like for people to hear the perspectives of those women because
mhm,
yes, we came first. We've done things first, but they've been in a different realm altogether, right? Of struggles, of rejection, of bullying. Um, just hearing them speak to that, and having us hear their perspective on life, I think would be amazing for my podcast. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this I just want people to hear stories of other people that have made it, right? We're
yeah.
still making our way in life. We're still growing. We're still developing. But if there's like a little girl out there, um, trying to make their way through life, Araya, she's a firstborn
Mhm,
little girl. She
yeah.
sits there and she listens. She's like, "Wow, Auntie Sheila made it like this far," you know. Um,
Mhm,
and she worked hard, and now this, all those things I think of, and I'm really hoping that my podcast does touch someone or help someone. And if anything, help my fellow ladies. I hope if like you have a business, if somebody can hear this podcast and reach out to you and like, hey, I'd like to do business with you, you know, put my ladies out there
mhm.
to get, I don't know, some sort of recognition for the hard work. That's a good question. Thank you. I probably might, I don't know, might have a studio or like, I don't know, something
Yeah.
bigger than what it is now. But I'm just
Mhm.
grateful for the fact that I'm having individuals like you willing to sit down with me and have these conversations. That was a good question. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, the last segment is give us the tea.
Mhm,
Um, in this one, I just have two parts, and the first one is if you could give your younger self, if you could write your younger self a letter, what would
mhm.
be the first sentence that you would write to yourself? So let's say 15-year-old Sheila, what would you say to her?
I would tell 15-year-old Sheila it will be okay. And to also allow the people around you to help you. Because when
Mhm,
I was younger, it was very hard for me to help for some reason.
mhm, mhm,
I thought that, especially being the older sibling, you're used to doing it all.
mhm,
And I had to really learn the hard way that it's okay, first of all, to seek help, And
Mhm.
second of all, it's okay to accept, so I would
Mhm.
definitely encourage my younger self not to be with details or feel
Mhm.
overwhelmed with things in general,
Mhm.
and just to allow my community to actually be my community and not
Nice.
try to get through everything alone. Yeah.
That is really good, especially when you mentioned not accepting help. I, on the other hand, s growing up, kind of button my head into the wall a couple of times because I wasn't accepting help, right? I'm expecting myself to be perfect, to do it all,
Mhm.
to accomplish it in perfect time. But allowing your community to be your community, that's a tweet. Hmm. I'm so tweeting that, but thank you so much for that. That is insightful and really helpful. Appreciate that. Now that we've come to the end of our episode, do you have any social media platforms that you'd like to put out there, or any ways our listeners could reach out to you if they want to, start work with you, give you business, or just
Mhm.
maybe somebody wants to talk to you and pick your brain? Um, I'll definitely put everything in the description, but do you have anything that you'd like to just put out there with regards to, your entrepreneurial self?
Yeah. So definitely check out my website. My website is mshetutorin.ca. If you have any questions at all about anything to do with education, we are available, and we're very passionate and eager to support any way possible. We also do have some resources, so there's a lot to offer there. My personal page, you can follow me on Instagram at Sheila.Donkor 3. And again, if you have any questions or you just want to connect, I'm a people person, so don't
Yes,
be a
you are.
stranger.
Yes, you are. Awesome. I'll put all that information in the description of this episode. Once again, thank you so much for agreeing to sit down with me. It is such a blessing to have individuals like you in my life. I appreciate the time, especially with this technology and trying to figure everything out. That you took the time to sit down with me. Thank you so much, Sheila. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Awesome. Awesome.